Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little different. Today we're going to be doing a tier list video. Why? Because GPO servers, well, Roblox in general servers are completely doo-doo right now, so I can't even play the game even if I wanted to. So I'm going to be doing a tier list. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. See you at the tier list. Alright, so first on the list is Sushi. So Sushi, we all know, is a pretty bad fruit. I mean, it has some uses in like very specific situation. It's completely useless in PvP. Yeah, it's Sushi, we all know. We're playing Sushi piece. Next, Hiei. Hiei is a pretty average fruit. It doesn't really excel anywhere, and it doesn't necessarily do anything better than others. It's kind of just it's pretty good for PvP if you have like the right items like pole, and yeah, that's about it though. And maybe there's some trident combos, but yeah, it's not really that great. Barrier is pretty good. It's pretty good for PvP. It's pretty good for PvE. It's decent for dungeons. After the nerf, it's not so great, but it's still pretty good. Overall, it's a pretty okay. And for PvE, like other PvE activities other than dungeons, it's not really that great, but it's a pretty good and it's a rare fruit, so it's easier to get than others. So it's a pretty decent rare fruit. Next is Bamu. Bamu is actually a really good fruit. So it's amazing for dungeons. Solo dungeons are super easy. Great for PvE as well, because you can just nuke bosses sometimes. I mean, you do need people in order to like protect you when you're low health, but like, it's good for certain bosses. Good for farming. PvP, you have to get a little creative because like the mine move isn't so great, and the swipe move isn't so great sometimes, but if you play it right, you can do a lot with bomb in PvP. Next is Mara. So Mara is actually the fruit I had the longest out of all of GPO. I had it for like a month or 2 months now, and I always put it in S tier. It's a pretty great fruit. It's amazing for dungeons, amazing for PvE. Can easily solo bosses. A little trouble with NL, but other bosses are completely easy. PvP, you have to get a little like a slight bit creative, but just up to a combo to fireflies and the radius of flame pillar and catching people off guard with it's just amazing. So I would put Mara in S tier. I know some people put it in like A, but Mara in my book deserves a S tier for sure. Next is Gura. Gura is a pretty good fruit, definitely above Bomb. It's a pretty good fruit. It doesn't really, you can do dungeons fairly well. You can do PvE bosses fairly well. You can do PvE farming is great too for Gura. It's actually pretty good. PvP is completely brain dead. Do a full M1 combo, run up, paralyze them. If you have pole, you can just keep stun locking them for a very long time. Yeah, it's just completely brain dead for PvP. So that's why it's like A, but for like farming, it's not that great. It's pretty good, but it's not great. Next is Sushi, and Sushi is easily the worst legendary fruit in the entire game. Easily the worst. Ultimate is easily avoidable. Meteor is okay, but you can still perfect block it. What else? The gravity field is pretty good, but it could be blocked. Push and pull is pretty nice for PvP because you know it's a great combo ender. You can just do that and end almost every combo. But like farming and bosses and dungeons, it's all just actually dungeons it's okay since it has a fly move, but cooldowns are so long, it's gonna take you forever. So it's not even great for that. Farming, like I said, it's not that great either. So it's a pretty, actually I'll put it down there. It's actually a pretty bad fruit. Actually, no, I'll put it down there. It's pretty, no, that doesn't deserve that. Alright, Pika, that's arguably one of the best fruits in the game. It's kind of good. Like, you can do dungeons fairly quickly if you have the time. It's almost as fast as Mara, but you have to put a little more effort in. Farming, absolutely, easily the best fruit for farming. Maybe not so much for bosses, but easily the best farming fruit. PvP, you have to get a little creative. You have to get a tiny bit more creative because a lot of the moves have they're pretty obvious. Like, the wind up is pretty obvious to see, but if you catch someone, you can get some good amount of damage in PvP. But yeah, it's arguably one of the best fruits in the game for sure. Next is Magu, and Magu is, I'm gonna put Magu in. Actually, I'm gonna create another tier. Alright, so Magu is gonna go in the A+ tier. It's not quite S like Mara and Pika, but it's an A tier fruit. A+ tier fruit, my bad. It is, dungeons are pretty hard with Magu, I can't lie. You have to put a decent amount of work in order to do it. You might fall, there's a lot of things you might you can get really easy combo in dungeons with Magu. PvE, it is, I said Pika is the best. No, Magu is definitely the best PvE fruit. It can clear out bosses in like 2 seconds. If you have like a group of Magu, the boss literally cannot move. Farming, great farming fruit. Two punch moves and a stomp move can easily kill all the way up to max level. Now PvP, since the only guard break move since they nerfed it is the stomp move, it's kinda a little more difficult because the stomp move is not consistent at all. But if you can guard break with it, hit a trident throw, combo some more, and you have black leg, trident black leg Magu, you can get some good damage. And the ultimate is get them against a wall with the ultimate and it's over, they're dead. So it's a pretty good fruit. Now Tori's going in A. Now the reason Tori's going in A and not A+ with Magu is because Tori only has like 2 moves. Has the Phoenix Burst and its ultimate. I mean, I guess talents, but like that's not even really a move. So like it only has 2 moves and you can't do much with it. You can just like, it's great for dungeons. It's good for farming, good for bosses. It can be the healer, you can do attacking sometimes. PvP, it's like okay, because if the ultimate, like I've seen videos of the ultimate, it's not really consistent. Like sometimes it hits and you can get like a great amount of damage afterwards in combo, and then sometimes you can like go inside the player and then completely miss. So like Tori's okay for PvP, just depends on how if it's gonna work or not. Talons is pretty good for PvP. Like it's pretty nice for PvP. Other than that, Tori's just a pretty average, the only reason why it's an A and not B is because honestly the drop rate, it's 0.5%. It's super rare, so like it's a pretty good fruit. I don't think it deserves its rarity honestly, but it's a pretty good fruit. Marrow is honestly worse than Suke. I'm actually gonna put Suke there. Marrow is actually worse than Suke. Actually, should I give it? Yeah, no, I stand by that. Marrow's terrible. Terrible ultimate, terrible moves, terrible everything. The stuns, I guess, are okay. Actually, no. For that, I'll put it here. I'll put Suke here. No, I'm putting it here because Marrow is actually a rare fruit, and Suke is so common, and it can actually do something. Marrow is rare, so it's harder to get, and it's not even that much. Like, it just has slightly better like stuns, and that's about it. Like, Marrow is absolutely terrible for being a rare. Like, it makes no sense. Like, Marrow is actually terrible. So yeah. And lastly is Gura. See, I want to put it here, but actually I'm gonna put it there. It's number one, it can compete with Goro in PvP very easily. See, like, Goro, I would say Goro is the most brain dead fruit, and Gura is the best PvP fruit. So like, you gotta put a little bit more work. But since, like, I'm pretty sure all the moves guard break with Gura, like Shockwave Punch is like, if you almost never miss. Blast Clutcher is a great, like, you run up to them, just Blast Clutcher real quick. The up tilt into grab, or ultimate, they're stunned, then you M1 up tilt into grab. It's like easily the most. Now that's actually pretty brain dead combo, and it does a ton of damage. PvE, it's okay. It's a pretty good fruit. Not. Oh yeah, CB's farming. I forgot to. No, these fruits stay the same for CB's farming. Oh yeah, it's a pretty decent for CB's farming. Actually, CB. Yeah, it's pretty good for CB farming. Dungeons, it's actually great for dungeons if you have another person. And like, if you have a person just sitting at the bottom tech eyeing, and then you have Gura, you can just hold Blast Clutcher in the air and then just release it, and you can just clear waves easily. Like, it's okay for dungeons. Solo is a little harder, but it's okay, I guess. Cooldowns kind of make it a little bit. Yeah, like a PvE bosses, it's manageable, it's doable. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's doable. But PvP definitely, like, this fruit, that's what makes it an A+ tier fruit. PvP, and it's not really bad for PvE, makes this an A+ fruit. So yeah, this is my tier list, the only correct tier list in GPO. I don't care what you say, best tier list in GPO. And yeah, see you on the next video.